Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted to be joined by Owen McKendry. We are reacting to the news that we've just heard that's been released not so long ago that Johnny Fisher will return before the end of the year and fight none other than fan favorite, former headliner at the O2, of course, as well. Former, if you need a slot in a pay-per-view and you need a fighter to call up, Eddie Hearn, call Dave Allen. Yeah, it's just been announced that Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen will fight in a heavyweight contest before the end of the year. Yeah, I mean, not one of the biggest fights that obviously has happened or will happen in 2024. There's plenty, we've seen plenty of big ones, mate. And still a couple more to be scheduled, obviously, as well. But yeah, a big fight nonetheless. I think that, yeah, Johnny Fisher, we've all had our opinions about Johnny Fisher, and a lot of people have kind of maybe didn't think he was all that. But you have to admit he has improved a lot recently. I think that's needless to say, and we all know as well that Dave Allen, despite maybe putting in lackluster performances against the likes of Fraser Clark and a couple of other ones, that one night against Lucas Brown, he looked unbelievable with that body shot knockout. So it's an interesting one for me, mate. Just your initial reaction to the fight being made between Dave Allen and Johnny Fisher.
It depends what way you look at it, really. I think for Johnny Fisher, it's a win-win. Dave Allen, as you said, he used to get the call up. Some of the fighters he's been in with, Dylan White, Luis Ortiz, Tony Yoka, even Fraser Clark. I think even David Price at the time was still a fairly big name for him to go in with. So for although most of them have stopped him, it's still a big name for Johnny Fisher to have on his record. For Dave Allen, he's had two four-rounders this year, on the back of obviously, Fraser Clark, retiring against Fraser Clark. So don't really know why Dave Allen's taking it unless he's been working hard in the background and truly believes that Johnny Fisher is sort of amateurish and bang average enough for him to get success. Other than that, I think it's a win-win for Johnny Fisher, and unless he gets a big payday, I don't really see why Dave Allen's taking the fight, to be honest.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, man. I think it's an some people might not see it as a step up or a natural progression for Johnny Fisher. Some maybe will. I think the one thing you could say is, yeah, he's been in there with all these fighters and lost to like us against all of these good fighters, Dave Allen. But you know, he think one thing you can guarantee is he'll give Johnny Fisher at least some rounds. I'm not saying that he'll definitely see the final bell or whatever like that. Johnny Fisher clearly a big puncher, but I can confidently say, in my opinion, Johnny Fisher would not blow Dave Allen out of there in 2 or 3 rounds. I don't think that'll happen. So I think it'll be maybe much valuable experience for Johnny Fisher. And listen, I think the amount of times I've backed Dave Allen to win, and like right, no, this is him. He's 100% in shape. He's taking it seriously, and then you see him take his top off in the ring or at the weigh-in, and you're like, you have not trained properly for this. Like, I thought he was being very serious for the Fraser Clark one, but I think he just let himself down a little. Judging by what he says on Instagram and kind of how we all know what he's like. He is a funny guy and tongue in cheek and stuff, but I think he knows that like something like this is kind of his last chance at maybe really doing something in boxing. If he was to beat Johnny Fisher, he's never going to be world champion, Dave Allen, or European champion. But like, if he was to beat Johnny Fisher, could he win a British title? That would maybe be his world title. If he beats someone like Johnny Fisher, he's in a great position to do so. It would seriously halt the hype train of Johnny Fisher, who a lot of people think are going, maybe at the start thought he was only going to be domestic level. Some people would definitely believe that he could even go European and potentially world level. So if Dave Allen turns up and, beats Johnny Fisher, I mean, it's a massive, massive win for his career and almost kind of revitalizes and rejuvenates his career, puts all those bad defeats and lackluster performances behind him. We'd all be suddenly be thinking, do you know what? Dave Allen still does have a little bit left, but as you say, it's also Johnny Fisher here we're talking about. He's looked, without being a world beater, he's looked like he's improved fight upon fight of late. Clearly a big puncher. And yeah, he'll be a big favorite here, and rightly so. I understand that. But there, as a Dave Allen fan, part of me does think that this could be a real test for Johnny Fisher. Part of me thinks it really could be a test for Johnny Fisher. So yeah, remains to be seen what happens, mate. If you were if you were to if you were to predict the fight now, knowing what you know about both men, what would you say? Do you think that Johnny Fisher could be the first one to get Dave Allen out of there really quickly? Or do you see this going late on, but Fisher getting a stoppage, or could you see this going the distance? What are your thoughts on that one?
I don't think he gets him out in like the first couple of rounds. I'd sort of say probably say rounds 5 to 7. I'd do that as a group. So like you can do the group betting. I'd pick 5, 6, 7 around that mark. Ideally sort of round 6, round 7 for me. I think like you say, Johnny Dave Allen's been in with some big names who he's taken some punishment to get him out of there. And I think that is what they'll be looking at from Johnny Fisher's point of view. He's not going in with someone who look at Alan Babbitt for God's sake. Everyone said, "Oh, it's going to be fireworks." It was literally just Alan Babbitt getting his head punched in for a minute and 48 seconds, or however stupid it was. So I think you look at Johnny Fisher's record. He's only been past sort of I think round 4. Sorry, he's been to points once in 6 rounds, and then I think Harry Armstrong was round 7. But like you say, he has looked like he's improved a lot since those fights. So yeah, I think it could be another night of Dave Allen getting beat up, to be honest. But if, like you say, if Dave Allen takes it serious and he comes in half decent shape, he's gonna throw punches at Johnny Fisher. And I think that's what Johnny Fisher needs. He needs someone who's actually going to walk forward. And you know what we'll see Dave Allen do? He'll slowly walk forward. He'll hold his left hand here, and he'll just load up a big overhand right, and he'll just swing for the high heavens. But that's what Johnny Fisher needs, because if he's got his timing off and he gets caught, he could wobble. So I think I'll definitely back the Johnny Fisher mid round stoppage. But from a Fisher point of view, it's a good fight, to be honest.
Yeah, I just think it's depends on what ambition Dave Allen has. Like if we get to fight week and he looks in good shape, Dave Allen, there might be a few people going, do you know what? This is a test, which it would be. It
Mm-hmm.
would be a good domestic test for Johnny Fisher. But then again, if he's looking a bit flashy, Dave Allen, like we're not going to say he's never going to sit it. He's never going to step on the scales and have a six pack or anything. That's not what we're saying. But like there have been times when he stepped up there and he's like does look like he's literally just got out of bed, got up off the sofa after eating a 20 pack bag of Walker's cheese and onions. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So yeah, I think I really hope that Dave Allen thinks to himself, "Do you know what? This is my last chance. I'm on one of these massive big cards. This is my last chance to impress. And I hope he does give it everything because if he does, we could be in for a cracking fight, mate. We definitely could. So yeah, remains to be seen. It pains me to say this because I don't. I struggle to back against Dave Allen, but I do believe Johnny Fisher wins this. I'm going to say he wins it on points though. I don't think he'll be able to get Dave Allen out of there. That's what I'm going to say. So yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts and your reaction to when this fight was made. Are you kind of did you kind of go, oh, for dear sake, another knockover for Johnny Fisher? Are you like, oh, Dave Allen, how many opportunities he's going to get? Or do you think that this is a genuine test for the Rumford Bull as he takes on the White Rhino? So yeah, 2024 ending with a bang. A couple of big heavyweight fights. Obviously, you've got Fury Usyk as well on the 21st, all being well. So yeah, plenty of big fights between now and the end of the year. This being one of them, obviously a more of a domestic level fight, but still a big fight nonetheless. Owen, thanks very much for jumping on with me, mate, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Pleasure as always, mate.